So for people that haven't got a table saw, you can use a trim router and a portable spline distance apart all the time. But there's two of them in the one jig. Today I'm going to show you why you should build these 4 woodworking jigs that's going to help you in your box making and your woodworking. So come on a journey and we'll make these jigs right now. The next jig we're going to look at is a spline jig, a portable spline jig for your trim router. So for people that haven't got a table saw, you can use a trim router and a portable spline jig. Look at that, guys, so easy. And that goes on your box and just slides up and down over the joint. Okay, all you need is a couple of little bits of 70 by 35 pine and a bit of 6mm ply. And a couple of wings to guide the router along. So we'll make this now. We'll cut the 2 bits of pine at 45 first, and that will give us our right angle. Just cutting with the dogging saw. And putting them together with a small box I made, just to keep everything square. Clamp them on there. And gluing up with the ply. And I put a packer in there to make sure it's parallel. And temporarily pinning it down. And putting on the first wing. Put the router on there, make sure it's in the centre, and you can glue and screw the first wing on. And now the second wing. Make sure the router can move up and down the table. There you go. And fix it all down to the blocks. You see how I made a dummy box there? Just made it square, so I can clamp the 2 bits of pine on after I've cut the 45. I put it in the vise, that gives me a flat surface. And then I just screw the bit of 6mm ply on top, mark the centre line, and then it's 2 wings. I use a trim router with a 1/4-inch upcut cutter in it for the spline when I'm on site, and that just slides in and out there perfectly. So now it's time to do our first cut. Just cutting through the 6mm ply now. It's our first cut. And setting it deeper to go into the box now. There you go. Portable spline jig. The portable spline jig. Have a look at that. Pretty simple to make, wasn't it? 2 bits of pine, cut on 45, with a top plate and a couple of guide rails for the router. Portable spline jig. Pretty simple, guys, isn't it? Let's move. Alright guys, the next jig we're going to look at is my double hinge jig that I use on my boxes. So the hinges are exactly the same distance apart all the time, but there's 2 of them in the one jig. I've got an old box here and I'll show you exactly how it works. The box anywhere you like, clamp it down, and with your trim router with a 2mm bit in it, it routed in for these small brass hinges. Show you how it works. Very easy, this jig. Once you got it made, works great. Can't stuff it up. You saw how I used my hinge jig? Pretty simple, wasn't it? Because the router had nowhere to go except to router out the hinge holes. You can't slip, you can't make a mistake with a jig like this. And the holes are exactly the same distance apart all the time. Let's move on. My next jig is a juice groove jig for your cutting boards. If you had a CNC, you can do it, but another way is to make a jig for it. I'll show you my jig now. All it is a piece of plywood with 4 rails in it. 2 that you take on and off to jam the cutting board in, and 2 that are on permanent. All my cutting boards are 25mm thick, so the base of the rail is 25mm thick. Put the cutting board in there, then I've got the rails. Now, If your rail was hard up against your cutting board, your juice groove would be too far in. You've got to allow for a runner to sit on the rail itself. So you see I've made a ply runner to fit on the rail. When I put the trim router up against the rail, the juice groove is in the right position. We've got the cutting board in, now we just screw the rails in to jam it in there. Now the cutting board is locked in there, it's not going anywhere, it's not moving. Now we'll put the spoon cutter into the trim router. Now we can start routering the juice groove. I'm going to do it in about 3 passes. So the first pass is just like a sighting pass, and then the second pass and the third pass just take a very light bit off in case there's any burn marks. The plate of the router is rounded except for one edge, which is square. You've got to be very careful with the square edge, because you don't want the square edge running up against the rails. You want the round part all the time, but that's the same distance all the way around. So I point the square towards me, then I start in the centre and I go up, down to the centre again, turn the router around, up, down to the centre, and that's it. So you've got to stop halfway and turn the router around. Don't stop at a corner, but it'll burn and you have to do a lot of sanding. So anyway, we'll have a look there and see how it goes. Doing the first cut now. Not too deep. Turn it around. Simple, guys. Okay, we've done our first pass. Came out great, very nice. Now for the final pass. Just a little one now, we just take a little bit off. Okay, our final pass. Don't stop, just keep going. If you stop in the corner, it'll burn. Undo your rails. Juice screws, guys. All done, all perfect. That leads me into my next jig, as I said. Where is it? You're looking at it. Where? The bench, the height of the bench. This is the upper section of my cart when I do my outdoor box making. And I've screwed a piece of ply onto it. All square, nice straight edges. And it's got big overhangs everywhere. It works 2 ways, guys. It works as a straight edge for your router. Just line it up, cramp it down, because we've got the big overhangs to cramp to. Here's your router. Trim it edge. And I never had to bend over, guys. I never had to bend over. Saves your back, guys. When you get older, you'll know about it. You can't always work at this height. You might have big furniture or something that you're making, so you've got to work at a lower height. My other bench over there, my glue-up bench is only 700 high, so I use that for the bigger items. The main bench is 850 high, and this bench is 1150. So I've got the 3 heights here. So for different projects, I can use different bench heights. This is the only one that's got the big overhang all the way around to cramp things to, and the straight edge. So you can trim anything you like on there. So it doesn't seem like much, but as you get older, you'll be surprised of how good it feels to work at the right height. So that was an easy one, guys. The right bench, and you can use it as a guide for your router. Perfect. 4 jigs that you didn't even know you wanted, especially the platform one. It bloody saves your back, guys, as you get older. The portable spline jig works well, doesn't it? As does the hinge jig and the juice groove jig. Thanks for being with me today, guys, and join me again next week where I will be making either another box or another jig or going somewhere. I'll be doing something in Dash's Woodworking Adventures.